quickly realized maybe 3 or 4 months in, we started getting phone calls from school nurses that our schoolgirls are needing these products, that we have a lot of students come to school without these products at home because their moms can't afford these products. So they're coming to school using socks or rolled up toilet paper, napkins, plastic bags, so that they can get to school and try to get an education. And so, like I was sharing with you, so now we're at 3 or 4 months in, we quickly realized it was not just homeless women on the streets and in shelters that were going without these products. We also have women and girls living in poverty. Our working poor don't have access to these products. These products can be expensive when you're living so tight that you don't even have a budget. And when you're down to your last $10 and you're trying to decide, do you feed your family or do you buy these products, then you don't have these products. So we're trying to make sure we are helping not just homeless women, we help our schoolgirls, we have partnered with schools. We're in all the Greenville County schools here in South Carolina, but throughout other states we are trying to help raise awareness and make sure that people can help their communities. And we will help do everything we can to support their community and grow our project so that...
You're listening to WATB 1420, Decatur, Georgia.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's that's station identification. That's just being. He just needs people to know that he in charge. That's all. No, I'm just. It's just like a man. No. You guys started this only 2 years ago, and over 2 years ago, and it was just based on a need after being directed from some things that you noticed. But now, because we did the same thing, we looked at the UK and we looked at how this global impact has taken place in the world, where everything that we've done has been sparked based on you all. And I love the fact that we have come to understanding that this is something that no one talks about. It's almost like we're women are here, but we're invisible. And you guys have brought visibility to the invisible conversation, but it's something that's a much needed thing. And I think it comes back from how mama raised us. Boys don't supposed to know your personal business about your personal business. And I think that's hurt us a little bit in sense of having to suffer in silence, regardless of the situation that we've had to impact as women. Go ahead.
Yes, I do believe that plays a part in it. So that's another thing that we do try, that we didn't realize at the time, but that is another part of our mission, is trying to hopefully, erase the stigma and the taboo that comes along with periods. I even have some women, especially when we first started, not many, but every now and then somebody would want to host a party at their home and say, do I have to call it a period party? And I just thought it was sort of funny in a way, because I thought it's just the word period, but how that can freak some people out, just, even because we were raised conditionally, like you said, you don't talk about it. I was that girl. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want my friends to even know when it was that time of the month for me. I was that schoolgirl that pushed the products at the bottom of my purse or my bag so nobody would see it, and praying that nobody would know that it was that time of the month for me, which is even funnier now, because if I had known when I was 14, 15, 16 years old that God had plans for me to be a menstrual activist when I reached my 40s, I would have died. So God's comical in his plans for us. But so that, I do believe, it makes it harder. But one thing also a lot of people don't realize is most states tax period products. So not only are these can be expensive and the access to these products are limited, but they're also taxed as luxury items in most states. So like here in South Carolina, they are taxed as non-essential products. So they're taxed at 6%. So that's another thing we've got against it, is that we've got to get these taxes removed, because these are essential products. These are necessities. These are not, and that also hurts those that are on welfare or that.
Absolutely.
General, women and girls, we are being taxed for something as if we don't really need it. And that just infuriates me when I started doing research and finding out. So for people that just think if you're on Medicaid or SNAP, if you're on one of those programs or WIC, that they pay for these products, that is incorrect. These programs do not pay for any of these products. If it's tax-free weekend, these products are not tax-free. You can buy a shower curtain tax-free, but you can't buy these products tax-free. You can, if your healthcare savings plan at the end of the year, if you're trying to spend money you didn't spend from your healthcare savings, and you're buying Band-Aids, aspirin, corn callus remover, Viagra, you can't buy period products with your healthcare savings fund. It's every time we turn around, there's just one more thing I learn. And so we've got a lot of work to do so that we can make sure women and girls have access to these products, not just for dignity reasons and humility, but it's also because of health reasons. And so there's a lot of work to be done. But it's beautiful when we meet women like you that we're all trying to work together for our communities and our state, and trying to empower our girls and our women so that we can focus on other things and not be worried about not having a product and then be expected to perform the same as the person beside us in school, or when our clothes are stained, or we're worried about the stain. And anyway, there's just so much need. I could go on.
It is a horrible situation where our promotional was on yesterday. It's just listening to the ads of some of the girls who had to leave school during the time of their cycle due to the fact that the lack of I think it's education and information exchange within the entire structure that's been implemented. And all of it goes back to us being, now I'm not an actual Southern girl, but I've been here long enough to be one. And it's just a thing. It's our nature as women to suffer in silence and not even go and speak up and have a voice. And the homeless period is just one of those voices that we just want to commend you. And you said your sister-in-law, she probably wish she never married into this family. Married into the family and went to work. Absolutely.
That she's an advocate in so many levels that she sent me that article, because I have now found my passion and I really do feel like I found my calling outside of being a mom, is that I'm supposed to do this. And this is what and so here I am. And I'm excited to see what 2018 brings and what a difference we can make in our communities. And like I said, I'm really big about people like you. If they call me and say, how can we help our community, giving them guidance or support, whatever they need, so that we can help, not just the Homeless Period Project, but to help, so it doesn't have to even be affiliated with us. It's just so no girl or woman has to go without these products.
You know what's amazing, Mrs. Phillips, is the girls are younger, starting their cycles. I mean, I I never I didn't start mine until I was a freshman for a freshman in high school, and now they're 9 years old, and wow.
And that's what's so sad is because, like you were stating, the lack of education and resources teach them properly about what's going on with their body. Even boys, letting them know that this is just this nothing gross about this. This is the way God designed us. Bodies are natural. They were do, but yes, girls are younger, and so with the lack of education, resources for our girls, it makes it even harder, keeps the taboo surrounding it. And then, so we're hoping, as we continue to grow as the Homeless Period Project, we're hoping we can continue to add more pieces to our project, that we're not just helping provide the product to those in need, but also to provide educational pieces. And eventually, one day, what we're hoping down the road is we got a business plan coming together slowly, but coming together that at the end of the day, we're hoping that we will also help employ women that we're serving and giving them workforce development and getting them back on their feet and putting them back out in the workforce. So we're hoping that just from this small article that made such a huge impact on Stephanie and I, that it goes for more now than just giving access to these products, but while we continue to do that, try to help education and help serve these women in other ways.
And that's the clue. That's the thing. I think now I don't recall, but when in sex education classes back when I was coming up, I can't. I'm having a senior moment now. I'm 51, but I can't recall if it was ever discussed or was it. I'm not sure. I don't.
And maybe touched on. I'm like you. I'm trying to really recall it. That's how much of an impact it did not make on me, because I don't recall ever even anybody even mentioning that your period is just from the lining of your uterus. It's just cleaning itself. That's all. That's really the basic of what it is. I don't ever know that somebody even told me that much of the basics, much less somebody telling me how to use the product correctly. I mean, that was just my mom. And I was fortunate that I had a mother I could go to and tell her when I started mine, where some girls don't even feel comfortable doing that. Or the moms don't feel comfortable, and they sort of throw the product at them and just let them figure it out. So, people are very, so then they don't even know how to use the product correctly. And so there's so much, but schools are not, I don't know about now, because my daughter's 17 now, and she didn't, from what I recall, get much about your menstrual cycle and exactly what's going on. And honestly, in some ways, I understand to some degree why they do it, but I hate that when they do that 1 day, 1 hour lesson on your body and what it's doing, they divide the boys and the girls, and tell the boys what's going on with their body and the girls what's going on, but they don't share together.
It makes no sense to me after absolutely, because it really, that's where the divide comes in at.
Girls like that, you're making them feel like it's private and it's nasty and it's disgusting, and you're without even saying that, when you divide, it's like you don't talk about that with boys, and boys shouldn't talk about this with you, what's happening with their bodies. And this is just the way God designed us, and we've got to get away from it. And I am proud to say, and I would love to hear what other people are noticing, that I have been, well, just with my daughter alone, when we started this project, she was had just turned 15, and it was so funny. I would go pick her up from school, and at the end of the day, these little girls, well, these high school girls would run up to my car with products. I've been carrying around this all day. I wanted to donate pads to your project, her tampons, and loved it because they weren't ashamed. And they've even gone to a school nurse or anybody just because of the stigma and embarrassment. But but I would love to hear from other school nurses and see what the needs are in more and more schools. But I will tell you this: New York started providing these products in all the bathrooms of their schools. Their school attendance for girls went up 2.4%.
Wow.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
So California has now followed New York. So I'm curious to see what their statistics have come out. We have a charter school that reached out to us. It was a middle school. They reached out to us about a month ago. They had 300 girls in need of these products. So we donated products to them for their students, and they're going to keep data on some things. And so hopefully we'll see some more direct stuff so that people can see we're not just being emotional or dramatic about it, that this is a true need, and we'll have some numbers. You know, have these products for girls and women, how it empowers them to move on and do other things.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that I want to play something for you real quick. This is Tiffany Haddish. She was on the Breakfast Club, and this is just to give you an idea of what she had to go through in order to understand what these girls are not getting the proper information to know what to do. And it's so sad that they don't have a clue about what to do, and it's a little comical, but it's not really. Okay. All right.
Toxic shock.
Die from that.
I'm lucky I lived.
You got it in too long?
No, I was using a big one. What happened was.
What you mean a big one? I don't know about no.
They always tell you that the danger of tampons.
Yeah, see. Okay, so this is like my third period, the third period I ever had, and it was there was no maxi pads or nothing in the house, nothing to use, but underneath the sink there was these super absorbent tampons. So I was like, forget it, I'll put it in. So I put it in, and I only had it in for about 4 or 5 hours, but as soon as I took it out, I started itching, started scratching, and my mom was there, my grandma was there, my mom had came over, and my mom was like, just give her some Herbalife, that's all she need. But everything I ate, I kept throwing up. Every time I drank water, throwing up. My tongue started to like I got a big tongue, it started to shrink. And like and then it got so like swollen and little that it was choking me. I was choking on my tongue. I had scratched holes in all my skin. You know how you go outside chasing the ice cream truck in the summertime? You know, if you go barefoot, you burn your feet a little bit. It was like that all over my body, just burnt. And my grandma was like, I gotta take her to the hospital. My mom was like, don't take her to the hospital. And my grandma was like, this is why you don't have custody, Leona. This is why this baby is about to die. Look at her eyes, like my eyes was sunk in, like I was completely dehydrated. And so my grandma took me to Children's Hospital, and they and then the lady, she was like, are you having sex? And I was like, no, but I want to. She was like, well, why are you using tampons? Are you using? She asked me if I use tampons. I said, yeah, I use one. She said, why are you using tampons? I said, because there's nothing else to use. Are you sure you're not having sex? How did you get it in there? I was like, it took a long time and it hurt really bad, but I got it in there. And I had put the thing, look.
You probably did the same thing I did the first time, because I don't know how you knew how to use
put
the
the whole thing in there?
Just put the whole thing
I
in
did
there.
the same thing, and I never.
And it was so uncomfortable.
I was like, this sucks. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, it was so uncomfortable, and I was like, dang, it was hard to walk and stuff. I was like, this, I don't know why. Yeah, I was like, I don't know why girls like this. And I looked back at the directions, like, oh, okay.
No, I did the same thing. And then they make you put one foot up on the toilet.
Yeah,
and
you
right,
feel all
guys.
weird.
And then you sit down with the
TMI.
mirror and you're like, okay, I gotta figure out.
So how did they fix it? How did they fix it?
How they fix the toxic shock?
Yeah.
So I ended up having to stay in the hospital for like 3 days. They hooked me up with all these IVs and stuff. It's like I was 13, got my first pap smear. They basically broke my hymen. They put like fingers in all your holes. It was the worst. And they was like, it was the worst. And the lady told me, if you ever use tampons again, it'll be like committing suicide. The reason that you're so sick off of the tampon is because they put a chemical in there that is the same chemical they put in rat poisoning. So the bigger the tampon is, the more poison's in it, so you bleed more. So you're allergic to this poison, and that's why you're sick. That's why you have the toxic shock.
Now that is Tiffany Haddish, and she was in she's been on a lot of stuff. She's been on Saturday Night Live. She's been on Good Morning America. So she's she's a stand-up comedian as well, but she's a young girl, and that is so it sounds like what we've been talking about. You guys, we're back, and we just I don't know. I normally never get tongue tied, but I think this 3 minute, it speaks to everything, Mrs. Phillips, that you were talking about, where here these girls are with no understanding about what to do, and there's got to be some education that has to be given, with just unfortunately, a lot of the girls are displaced and they're living with grandmothers, and a lot of times grandmama don't really have that conversation with you because she's got 2 or 3 other grandkids with the mother's displaced, and all these different variables are happening. But they were, it was 2 young girls, just kind of let you know what was going on. There's 2 young girls, and they were, you can tell they millenniums, I call them. They were all millenniums, and the Breakfast Club is just another radio platform on YouTube, and they have a lot of different people come on. But it was just so
fun, and she didn't have anybody to show her. She did the same thing. She put the entire plastic applicator and all, and she was in pain. And thankfully, it didn't turn into toxic shock, but how much pain she was in, and anyway, and so that's, to me, that's about the 3rd time I've heard just recently about how somebody had misused the tampon. And so you're right, just something as simple as how to, if that's the only thing you have access to, or your choice that you want to try, how to even use it properly. So,
wow.
We don't have proper education over these products, what I would call, health products. These like I said, these are not luxury items. But I'm so glad that she felt comfortable enough, even though she was laughing, and it was now sort of a comical situation that could have turned out even so much far worse.
Right.
So there that she felt comfortable enough sharing that story, because unfortunately that story that happened to her, I guess maybe let's say 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago for her, is still happening. And it's insane to me that here, my age, I'm in my 40s, and something that we didn't get when I was in school is still an issue.
I just don't understand, again, whether or not do we need to push for, I guess, sex education again, or what? I think there's a discussion group that needs to be. Oh, really? Okay, a health.
Here in the South, especially, and because I'm grown up here, I will just give my sort of, you say the word sex and people almost just like curious. People freak out. and they think that's something parents should teach at home, not schools.
Which really they should, but that's in a perfect world that maybe 20, 30 years ago, but not now.
That discussion to me is a health discussion. It doesn't have anything to do with sex. You can be a virgin and still have these problems, you know? So this has nothing to do, don't make periods about sex always, even though I know that leads to your cycle is how you get pregnant because of ovulation. But as far as periods, just talking about having your period and how you manage your period, or talk to girls and boys during that time when you're talking about the reproductive system, but talking about the uterus, that everybody sits in on class and why these products are so important and that they're used properly, so that you can manage your period, not manage staying a virgin and not pregnant. Just keep it focused on the one issue at hand, just talking about how to manage your period.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Doing away with that. I'm just saying maybe this discussion shouldn't even have to be a part of just the sex education. Why aren't we just pushing, education on how to handle your menstrual cycle, just like we do with breast care as far as how to check your breast cancer. And there's a lot of education out there of how to check yourself in the shower, and nobody's embarrassed by it.
When I finally got a melody, I took it home and I played it for my mother. I gotta tell you a little bit about my mother. You see,
it happens every 28 days. This is something that happens quite often and happens to most girls and women, for a majority of your lifetime. So why we can't discuss it and make sure people know how to manage it, and for men to understand what's going on with their own sister or mother or their own wife one day, or daughters, it's baffling to me.
It is past baffling. I think I think the course is just something that's laid out, and I think this next generation is so upfront and just gun ho about just everything. They're just really comfortable about the whole thing. Because if you notice, the other gentleman, he even said, "Oh, you mean you didn't do such and such?" So he knew he knew the situation, and the guy so.
Had the support of men and boys grow in our project, and it's been amazing. We had men's host parties. I have probably, it's about 10 around the 10 or guys that come to almost every public event that we have. They are always there. Not only are they walking products in that they went and shopped for themselves, but they are helping pack in the packs. They help pack our cars. They help with deliveries. They help share our posts on Facebook. It is so funny to me, but it's so amazing. And so I have to give a shout out to the men that have been joining in, the men and boys. We've had middle school boys throw a party while they watch football and ate pizza. No lie.
It's all right. It's all right. I love it.
Making all these period packs, and they let me post it on social media. So I have to give it to not just only our young girls and women that have been supporting us, but we have got a following of men and young men and that are coming, like I said, all ages and all backgrounds and races, and it's just in religions, and it's just amazing to me. So I do want to give a shout out to the men that are going to the stores and purchasing these and telling people why they're purchasing them, and it's just so
It's
fun to
wonderful.
watch.
It's wonderful. It is wonderful. I saw also on the post that that the T-shirts are ready now for purchase.
They wanted to purchase a T-shirt. The way we've got it now, because, like I said, all of us, our small team, and all of our other chapters, we all are doing this volunteer. So we do it on the side. So what we do ask is that people, right now we don't have it set up online where you just go order one at a time or two or three at a time. So if you want to order a T-shirt, the best way at this point in time is to contact me on email or through Facebook, or go to our website and send us a message that you're wanting to. And probably in a few months we'll have it where you can order it through our website, where you don't have to go through all that rigmarole. But until we find a volunteer that they want to take on that task and be the one over our sales for our merchandise, because I simply, me or Stephanie and a couple of our other teammates, we are all tasked out doing things, and so I have to be sensible, because I'll get real crazy sometimes and I want to do it all, and then I find myself not doing a great job at any of it because I'm taking on too much. So, anyway.
Well, and I saw that, and I also saw that Facebook approved you guys as a nonprofit to help support and raise awareness too. That's huge.
Global, where people can make donations to different charities. Facebook is doing something special tomorrow on Giving Tuesday, where if you, and we've been approved for that too also, where Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is matching some of the donations. So hopefully tomorrow, if we raise some money and Bill and Melinda Gates picks our charity as one of the charities to match what we raise tomorrow. So that's another way. Another way, if you want to help out, is you can contact us and say, for instance, like Atlanta, and they say, we want to help our community. What can we do? Mm-hmm. And I'll guide you and help the women, so that you, or if you make a donation to us and say, but hey, I would like this donation to help purchase products. I'm in Atlanta and I want to help the women in Atlanta. We'll make sure those products get back to your community. We don't keep it just for us, for where we're actually located in the upstate. We spread throughout. I've got a girl in Philadelphia that has a young girl that contacted us through Instagram and asked if there was a way that she could get some products. That she was starting public school. She had been homeschooled. And her and her mom were living in poverty, and she was so nervous about starting school and having her period. And so we simply asked her. I don't have any chapters up there in that area that have grown enough to help. So I just asked her address, asked her what products she prefers, and let us know when you get low. So we shipped them to her. And then her mother just recently had a baby, so now she was asking if we could send some more products, because now her mom needs the products too. And so, we'll even, we take this money, and so we don't just help women in our community. We also help women throughout our state or in other states, or like you were talking about, when there's a natural disaster.
Right, with the project we just did in Covington. It's not gonna go away no time soon. It's so. Right. That's where we